As a hypnotist, I will run into a lot of people who are skeptical about the work that we do. A lot of people who think that hypnosis is simply the placebo effect, and people who like to say things in much more hostile terms. I saw somebody asking a question about hypnosis and asking for people's experiences with it and how it helped them. And of course, somebody immediately replied with, hypnosis is bullshit. One of the reasons the skeptic gave for hypnosis being a complete waste of time is that you had to believe in it in order for it to work. Therefore, it was complete horseshit. Hypnosis is really all about belief and expectation. That's true. But so many things in our life are about belief and expectation as well. I always say that hypnotherapy is a collaborative process. It's not something I'm doing to you. It's something that we are doing together. That does require that you, the client, have an open mind to it. If you are completely shut off and convinced that this isn't going to work, it's a complete waste of time, it's not real, then no, it isn't going to work, because you're not going to allow any of the suggestions to get in. That's also why we say hypnosis cannot make somebody do things against their will. It cannot make you violate your personal morals or values, because you would simply be closed off to that. So when I first went to a hypnotist for my anxiety, I had no idea what to expect, but I knew something needed to change. I didn't know if it was real or not. For a long time, I was very skeptical of hypnosis because I watched an episode of Penn and Teller bullshit 20 some years ago, and they said hypnosis was bullshit, and they gave the most wild examples of why this is, such as, people claiming that they can reverse male pattern baldness using hypnosis, that you can grow your hair back just by being hypnotized, which is very, very far-fetched, to say the least. All I knew was that I needed to do something to change this. I didn't know if it would work or not, but I was at the point where I had no choice but to be open to it. I wasn't going to just block out everything that could help me resolve this issue that was actively destroying my life. If I went in with the idea of, this is bullshit, this isn't going to work, I'm not going to listen to a thing they have to say, then I would just be wasting everybody's time and money. Now, on the other hand, what I will see, or sometimes people just don't want to change, but they want to feel like they were doing something. I see this a lot with smokers, where I will turn them away because somebody will call me up and be like, oh yeah, I want to quit smoking, my wife has been nagging me. And it turns out they don't want to change for themselves. They just want to do it so they can say they've tried everything. And if it doesn't work, well, gee, I guess I have to keep going now. And I'm not going to be part of that. But when somebody is ready, when they're at that threshold and they're open to the suggestions, then there's a massive shift. That's true with any issue. You can still be skeptical of it, but as long as you're open and willing to accept the suggestions and do it in good faith, you can have tremendous results. I had a client who came to me for issues after they saw a stage hypnosis show. They saw it and it was one of the most hilarious things they'd ever seen. So, hey, maybe this can help me with these issues. And it worked. It worked great for them because they had an open mind to it. So, yes, you do have to be open to hypnosis in order for it to work. Our mindset does matter. It's important to remember that our focus is what shapes our reality. What we focus on expands. We have something called the reticular activating system. So this means if we're focused on it, it's going to search out more of that. Standard example of this is you're thinking about buying a car and then all of a sudden you're seeing a ton of that car on the road that you didn't see before. Or maybe you just bought a car and now you're seeing them everywhere. You're just noticing it more. The number of cars hasn't changed. These are just jumping out at you because you're tuned into that. And this also works if we're miserable. If we are miserable, if we are determined to have a bad time, we're going to find ways to make that happen. We're going to look for the negative in everything. And we already have a built-in negativity bias. Cognitively, we've evolved that. If you are focused on being miserable, of going to have a miserable time, of all the reasons why this wouldn't work, why you can't change, you are going to keep finding these reasons why you can't change because that's what you're tuning into. So if that's where you were at with hypnosis, then great. Hypnosis isn't right for you. But if you are open to it, you can have big changes. And that's simply how it works. When I was young, I used to skateboard. And I remember when I was learning how to drop in on a vertical. And I was learning how to skate in a bowl. And I fell down over and over again. Every time I would go in, boom, I would just eat it. The reason was I kept shifting my weight back onto my back foot, causing me to go off balance. When I leaned forward, when I leaned into it, I stayed on the board perfectly. But I had to trust that process. I had to be open to the idea that I was going to stay on my board. All I had to do was lean forward, lean into it. It's not just hypnosis that you have to be open to the idea that it's going to work. There are so many other areas in life where you have to have that belief and that expectation that you can do this, that this will work, that you can change. If you don't have that belief, if you don't believe that you can change, if you don't want to lean into the process that it takes to make a meaningful change in your life, then maybe hypnosis isn't for you. And that's fine. But if you are ready, if you are tired of falling over again and again, and you're ready to lean into it and really get those changes, like and subscribe. And reach out to me at EBHypno.com. Let's have a chat and see if I'm the right hypnotist for you. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.